so Nakia and I can kind of let our hair down, take our wig off. We don't have wigs on, but we can just kind of. It's real. This is what they be buying. No, I'm just kidding. But we laugh, we live, and we love. Okay, go ahead, sis. She got stuck. Oh wait, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I got her. She's stuck.
A couple of the other guys. So, Derek, what are you doing? Did you set yourself on fire? Okay.
Y'all can't say that when I got a drink in my mouth.
I know you don't think I'm not gonna be myself just because our pastors are up on you.
No, we didn't.
Did y'all see the kid? She was over there.
First, you asked the preacher to give a 2-sentence thing. I'll really pull it in. Here we go. Oh, let me.
All for sharing, and V Mike has a showstopper, show stealing over there. So we got another panelist on here taking all the attention.
Tie my bow tie.
For the potato chips.
And I'm grateful for them shoulders and them lips. Come on now.
And the closer you get, all you see is them little soft stuff of shoulders.
Look
Bring
at
it
banana. I'm trying to get y'all sponsors.
I'm sorry. And she keep rubbing them and stuff. There you go. I better bring in the Slappy. What in the hell? Hey! What? I thought that would be cute to part ways on the Slappy Payne. So it's been so real, y'all. He'll be with us shortly.
Trouble in the
house. How are you doing, sis?
I'm good. I am. I was reading. Give me a second because it's cold in here. I had to cut on my.
Now there you go. I would like to introduce to some and present to others the Slappy Payne.
I found my shoes.
Hey, in the building.
Oh, you didn't do the thing. Wait, do it again. Stop. Back up. I would like to introduce to some and present to others the
in the building. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh yeah. Don't get started because I will go there with you.
She didn't want to give me my tongue rolls on the main show. I saw you back out of it. I saw you.
She did, didn't she?
Yeah, I need you to commit to that thing now. Don't tease me with it and then take it away from it. That ain't how you do it.
She ain't been reading her Bible.
I know. Once you give it to me, you got to keep giving it to me. You see how that works?
Wow, thanks.
It's in the Bible. In the Bible, it says his is hers and hers is his. That's what it says. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but you know what it means.
Yeah, because I ain't never heard
paraphrasing.
I'm paraphrasing. Your body belongs to. That's what the word says. Come on now, read your Bible. It's in there.
Don't take nothing out of Slappy my mouth. It's true.
It is in the scripture of Philemon, the 15th chapter and the 2nd verse. I'm gonna need y'all to read.
It's in the 5th verse.
Okay, yeah. Now it's been a while since I read Philemon because I've been studying Titus and Jude.
What?
Don't nobody read Titus and Jude.
In Titus, have you been studying?
Chapter 42 and verse 16.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's it. Don't nobody read Titus and Jude. Don't nobody read it. So
now,
if somebody
in Jude though.
Oh, Jude. Oh, everybody know that famous scripture in Jude. It's chapter 46, verse 16.
Y'all pull your Bible out and look at that right now.
I need them to do that.
Y'all gonna read that word. And if you can't find it in there, you have to cross-check it and go to Galatians, the 63rd chapter and the 22nd verse.
That's where you at with it.
Yeah, that's when you're studying. That's when you're studying your word right there.
But if you go to Revelations chapter 37, 36.
Yeah. Now you talking about verse 12 through 14 or verse 20 through 26?
I can't even get up in this guitar because I'm just like, I can't even.
Because a lot of times people look at those, but they don't cross-reference back to Habakkuk. Habakkuk, the 73rd chapter and the 26th verse. See, people don't cross back to that.
That one will work too.
Yeah. Habakkuk. Because it's a UK at the end of that thing. Look, I was looking at the show today and I was like, okay. I was looking at the show.
How many chapters is in Jude again?
Oh, Jude. Nah, there's actually 60. It's actually 67 in Jude, but we just studying the 46th verse chapter and the 22nd verse is what we're doing. Yeah, just study your word. The Bible, look, it says start study to show yourself approved. That's what the word says.
Work out your own salvation. And you are not able to do that unless you read the entire Bible. The word.
And it says Jesus wept. Don't make Jesus cry because you're not reading your word. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Look, I was looking at the show and I said, okay, I was looking at the show and I say, Vaughn got a low cut. Kia got a low cut. Jamie got a low cut. So I said, hold on. Let me make sure something. Y'all cut y'all hair on purpose. It's not alopecia, is it?
Nick, good night.
Okay, because I didn't listen. I don't want nobody to run up slapping me. That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to get slapped today. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I watch a lot of documentaries, which we all know, and comedians, and I love to hear comedians speak when they are not typically on set, because they still funny, and to me they're funnier because they mix that, it's just natural at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you both a YouTube clip of Mike Epps recent and Lavelle Crawford. I mean, all I gotta do is say Lavelle Crawford and most people start laughing just because there is something not funny about that dude. That dude is walking funny. His voice and accent alone is funny. Baby, him and Mike, that's just a nut. I dare say I don't know if I want to go toe to toe with him. There's some people I want to go toe to toe with, but he probably make me say never again. Because here's the
thing with Mike Epps. Mike Epps, when you look at Mike Epps, I get the idea that he don't write none of his stuff. It felt like he ain't wrote none of his stuff down. He just got on stage.
I mean, if that's the case, it would be a big conspiracy because he makes a point to bash those who don't. He said that you're weak if you're not right. If you don't write your own stuff, you're weak and you shouldn't be on the mic. That's how he feel. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he has made clear that that's important to him. But he and Lavelle Crawford have somebody mixed a YouTube clip about their responses, and you said that alopecia, and it was so funny. I was like, see, this is what comedy is. It was really, really funny. So I'm gonna send y'all that. But then after, one of my most favorite comedians, I got to say, is D.L. Hughley. And for a lot of reasons. He's very, very intelligent. We're talking about somebody who had to go back and finish his GED.
Yeah.
But he teaches himself words, and you can hear it. He's like, well, what I like about him is the intelligent delivery. I wish his show would have stayed on CNN, but the intelligent delivery of his comedy is just bar none. It's just second to none. It's just amazing. But he responded, and I listened to him, and I said, okay, that's how I feel. It was so balanced. It was so balanced in the way he approached it, understanding. But he was just so profoundly
He
expressed.
was.
You
He
saw that
was.
clip? You saw
Oh
his
yeah,
clip?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
I
so
pretty much
profoundly
watched.
expressed.
I pretty much watched most of the comedians' take on the situation, and I watched D.L. Hughley, and I was like, well said. And then I turned over and watched Corey Holcomb, and
Oh,
that
big mistake. Big mistake.
that was a whole mess. Now most of that stuff was just him being Corey, but when he said, and I quote, he was talking about Jada, and then one of the dudes said, "Come on, man, she got alopecia." He said, "Man," he said, "Man, August got alopecia that ass."
Cause I'm like, y'all not hearing
Sorry, I wasn't
all
ready.
the peaches. He ain't saying alopecia, he's saying all the
He
peaches.
said she got alopecia that
I tell you, my people and their pronunciation is just always so low. But look here,
Oh my God.
so Nikki and I both ended up at the same concert and didn't know we were both going this weekend. And that was fun. My frat sister, Indra P. I want to say her middle name so bad, but I'm not, because she'll kick me so hard. But Indra, maybe not to say. But Indra P. Jones was one of the first sisters I made at Grambling State when I was in band camp when I was only 17. And I thought she was so freaking awesome because she not only warmed up the band, she warmed up the band on because that's something that you only saw boys doing,
Oh
warming
yeah.
up the band. But also she arranged Baby Baby Baby. And sometimes at one time recently in our group, somebody mentioned, what was your favorite arrangement to sing? And she got a lot of credit because it was just a fun song to play. Some people just arrange so well. And it's hard. And I'm not going to go through how hard it is. But also my big brother, his name is Lawrence Slappy. But we call him Puddin'. Puddin' is his
Come
craft
on,
name.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Just so sweet. Right. Well, Puddin' was there, and Puddin' was the uniform captain the whole time I was in the band. And when it was known that I was going to pledge, I learned my music fast. So he would come get me out the band room when it was time to rehearse for that part. Because I was done, and he would hide me behind the uniforms that were hanging up so I could sleep.
Oh Lord.
You didn't sleep
Come
in the
on.
real band camp. You got up for 5:25 to be with the whistle on the street to march to practice, and then we ended practice anywhere from 10 to 1:00 a.m. every day.
So literally, you were saying this one time at band camp, I went and slept behind the uniforms.
No, I was saying that was normal. That was my normal thing, and nobody could say nothing because I had to play a scale of my music or something, bust my dance moves, I always knew what I was on it, But that's what I do though. So I'm not trying to dummy it down. I'm dummying it down, but that's what I do. But he would hide me, and I needed that sleep so bad.
Nakia, I'm a getter because we always get on you for missing your movie references, and that one went straight over her head.
I missed something.
It went straight over her head.
Do it again.
American Pie.
Oh, you know
this
what?
one time at band camp.
American Pie.
What?
Yes,
Oh, you got to see it. Oh my God. See, we gotta see.
I've never I have to watch that because I just don't know. And I know that is a 80s child staple. And so I need to go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, because the band geek, that was her whole thing. She did this one time at band camp and she just kept telling stories. And at band camp, then toward the end, that one time at band camp just turned left. And you was like, oh, snap. Okay. Okay.
Well,
it was cute. It was cute at first. This one time at band camp. And then at the end, she was like, this one time, now at this time, he listening because that's all she does. So he listened attentively. And she says, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute up my, and it was, everybody was like, what? Wait.
Oh my God. And I played the flute, but I didn't stick it nowhere.
this happened at band camp. What is going on? And it shocked the heck out of him. It shocks the heck out of him. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. Now, you made a reference. You made a reference in the show. You said enough. Jennifer said enough. Now, are we talking about Jennifer Holiday or Lopez?
That's funny, because Jennifer Holiday said, "'Cause this time, if it was gonna."
Yeah, she was done, but in Jennifer Lopez movie was enough.
Okay. Over the thing.
Okay, gotcha. That was a very good movie.
Very good movie.
Men and okay, so let me tell you what happened at the concert. And I told Nakia I did not tell Slappy, sis, because I wanted his real. And so at one point,
wait a minute. Is this the cray cray? Is this the cray cray?
This is the cray cray.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Lauren always have interesting experiences. That's all I want to say. Because I'm like, I would never have stuff like this here go on in my life.
I was behaving so well. I swear to God. Well, so, I mean, it's Frankie. We done had Mr. Big and Islands Nice. Frankie up there. And we know Frankie can't sing. And it's so emotional because, like he can, but, he's struggling nowadays. But don't nobody care. We don't care. Out of 10 good notes, if you hit 2, we fine. Because it's Frankie. And so I'm singing it with him, and he's crying. Now, my baby, my blessed sister had me like 10th row from the stage, something like that. It was close. So it was really a thing. So people are dancing in the aisles, and God, it was such a good feeling to see all these Black people up in the stands and everywhere, just dancing where they were in place. And it just felt like such a good vibe. And I'm like, man, look at these men. They got chairs out here to sing. Mr. Big had a chair. His brother stayed on his feet with that guitar, though, baby. Don't fade the phone. And
they still be getting it in.
And Frankie is labored, but he's doing the thing. They both doing it. So we singing along with him because all we care about is we still want you around. So we're going to enjoy the moments, right? Especially for those of us like Nakia. And I'm speaking for her since she mentioned she hadn't been to a concert in a while. I went to one last year, but there was a stretch in my life where I didn't go to a concert for a very long time. So I'm really enjoying just the vibe and the energy of the people. So I felt good is my point. And Lord Jesus, if it ain't been some difficult last 14 or 16 months of my life, right? Like everybody else. Well, so there are people dancing, and I love the idea of people dancing together. I came from that last school where we, dudes would come up and ask you to dance.
Yeah.
The film for real, she like, you could come dance with me, and you be a fool to say no,
Yeah.
So that happens too. And we the last ones, right, to really do that. I hope they come back. Well, anyway. So this dude comes to ask me to dance, literally puts his arm behind his back, bends down, and extends one hand. I mean, you can't ask no more gentlemen.
Oh, wow. Come on, chivalrous.
Hold your pipe.
Uh-oh.
And so I put my hand out like this. So he took it the right way and kissed my hand.
Oh.
He took it like the gentlemen do.
Come on, COVID.
So
Hold up.
I get up and we start group because I'm already dancing, but I had just sat down for a second.
Did you have your sanitizer? That's what I want to know.
I did in my purse.
Okay, gotcha.
So he got dressed. He had already threw up his Q sign. And so, I'm like, man, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I called it out because this is what happened for real. And so I'm dancing with him for maybe 5 seconds, and he slides his arm around my waist, and he puts my hand on the top so I can hold him in the carriage hold, right? And I'm still like, okay, this is a little too close, but it's a slow song. So, I mean, it's not too, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And just kind of yanked me into him. And I was like, uh-oh.
Into the grind. That's into the grinding position. Gotcha.
But I was not happy. I said, uh-oh. Oh, no. Ain't no wedding. And so, so then he whispers in my ear, and disclaimer, get ready. Okay. I don't make these things up. I can't. He whispered in my ear, oh, girl, baby, you making my bleep hard. I didn't say it. Everybody, Jesus has been alive.
That's because he was all up on that question mark. I got you.
Just tell me his Jenga Banga is rock solid. I was like, what kind of shit? I said, okay, that's where I get off this train, sir. So I start pushing him back, and I'm like, I'm telling you, I don't want to dance with you, because you have to say fudging no, for it to be understood. So me pushing him away means nothing. So I'm like, I don't want to dance with you anymore. The next thing I know, I'm reaching out for Puddin', because this man yanks me up on him again. This close. I was like, okay, and I took my hand right here, because I know that can stop somebody, and I pushed him away and held his ass as hard as I can and pushed him away, and I had my arm at length.
Yeah.
And Puddin' pulls me, and he gets in between us. No, I'm sorry. Right before I do that, when I do that, I had to get this way to get because Puddin' was trying to pull me to him, and I'm like, no, Puddin', you need to get up and get between us, because this dude is still yanking me forward. So the last time he did that, I said, I'm saying I don't want to dance with you. And this nigga, I meant to say that word. I'm so sorry. It's so hateful.
Yes. That's with an A, people. With an A. Okay.
That dude bit my blouse.
Dang.
And drew it to him. And I snatched it out. And that's when I got him just like this, and then quickly pull. That's when it looked like I was unhappy. I guess me looking like this didn't do it. So he apologizes to Puddin'. Puddin' is like, you apologize to her. And I said, you know what? I am not gonna let that fool ruin my night. I'm with my sister, who was up taking pictures, and my brother, who we have been friends since 1990 mid the freaking ooh. Okay, that's 1992. That's 30 whole years of a promise that if you join our frat, we're going to be your big brother and big sister for the rest of your life. And they right here. Baby, and she came from Las Vegas. I'm not going to let nothing interrupt me. And I stayed dancing and stayed enjoying myself. When I got home, though, I had to give myself time to process. I think this will be a good segue into talking about what we're grateful for the show. And trust and believe, I've been watching the time. So, what world do you think it's okay to put your mouth on a sister's blouse and bite it?
Well, first of all,
at the end, the rest of it was, what is going on? What makes you think any of that is okay?
Well, first of all, you must have been looking on it. One. Number two, he buttercupped you all the way. He kissed your hand, made it seem like he was going to be a chivalrous human being. It turned out to be a nasty dog. And not only that, here's what I was thinking, and I know that's just my head. If he had to tell you that his, what you call it, jingle bingo?
I think so. I believe that's what I call it.
If he had to tell you his jingle bingo was hard, brother, you lacking. You lacking, brother.
It's not happening. I would sincerely concur with your assessment, sir.
The brother lacking is what's going on. He got other things he need to worry about, and that brought to my head, baby, no, I'm crying. I get so excited. Know how I like it. Try, but I can't hide it. You dancing real close. So okay, you making it hard for me. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it was so many things that went through my mind when I got home and processed this. Had I done what I was about to do, which was snatch an empty chair and beat the shit out of him, because that would be a dramatic response. But
that would have been a change of pace.
I suppose that would have been the wrong thing to do. But,
that would have been a wedding for you. That would have been a wedding.
It would have changed the environment of that beautiful room, because it would have become a thing. And then the concert would have been over because one woman felt assaulted, and she would have been ostracized for ruining the whole damn concert. So now I want to say
and
this.
I would have had it all on video, because I was videotaping the whole damn concert.
That's what she do when she out. She will get that on footage. You hear me?
Oh my God.
I got the whole concert from the beginning to the end on my phone.
And that of course is illegal in the United States of America.
It's only for self-viewing I won't be sharing it with
No, but
anyone.
she right about that because that
Well,
part is not, and she will win in court because she had no intentions to sell it, and so she is
Oh
insulated
no,
from
it
any
is
type of
solely
wrongdoing.
for
Just
personal
so
viewing.
everybody knows that, because I made a joke, I want to make sure that's covered.
Yeah,
oh
that's
Lord.
personal viewing.
Nakia, why don't you let your son stick his face in the camera? Because he be showing up at times.
He doesn't
And
want to. He doesn't.
I'm
He doesn't
sitting there
like to.
looking. Next thing I know, she blowing kisses. I was like, wait a minute.
Because he doesn't like
Because one time he
to.
came in
goes
and
to
hugged
bed.
you.
But before he goes to bed, every night, before he goes to bed, before he takes a shower, when he gets done and put his clothes back on, he comes to give me a hug and a kiss. Before I go to bed, he gives me a hug and a kiss. If I go to bed before him, if I'll go to bed after him, I go in there and I check on him, and I'll mess with him because I don't need him, swinging on a girl.
Oh yeah, no.
But
We
he
just talked
stood,
about domestic violence. Now we don't
right.
need none
He
of that.
stood at
Okay.
the door, which normally he's already gotten a hug and a kiss because he's normally hitting the bed probably about 8:30ish or so, right at 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he went and fixed some chicken tenders, so he wanted to make sure that I had my chicken tenders because he makes the most amazing chicken tenders. And so he came back in here because he said, "Mommy, I might be asleep before your show is over. So if I know I'm going to go to sleep early, I'm going to go ahead and fix your chicken tenders and bring them to you." So I was like, okay, I appreciate it. So he had already brought them. And he stood in the door. He opened the door. He stood in the door and he was like, he gave me a hug. And then he had blown me a kiss. And he stood there and I'm talking. And I'm looking and he stood there and he was not moving. And he
That
was
brother
like,
said he wants his sugar.
he was like, Ma. I was like, okay.
That and that's the funny part. That's how I be when I leave in the morning. I be like, really, kid, I can't get my I ain't going nowhere till I get my sugar.
And he was adamant, so I had to pause. And he normally never does that. He normally never comes in the space when I'm working.
Yeah.
And so it was just like unusual. So I was just like, okay, no problem.
Well, first of all, let me say all three of y'all looks beautiful.
Thank you.
With your nice little shorter haircuts. Y'all was cute with it. And Jamie, Miss Wright was looking good, and I was like, her name is right on point. Jamie, all right. Now I know it's grammatically wrong, but Jamie, all right. If liking Jamie Wright is wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay, well, I want to be right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get it.
So look, so because I want to let Nakia go into, because I know she has some thoughts, because she has a lot of, we both do, but I still want to give her the room to assess the show like she usually does. We have this little flow, so I'm gonna respect the flow.
Okay.
The whole point of me mentioning my experience is because I knew we were having this episode, right, and talking about Jamie's survival and her tenacity and her beauty and everything. And the double standard is present. He say, "I want some chicken tenders." You gonna stop? Get out of here.
Yeah, I want some too.
Them tenders is bad, baby. This one up in there, he can throw down on some. They better than Cane's. They better than everybody, and they're light and fluffy. And they're
I want my order. Tell your son I'm putting my order in. I'm putting my order. I pay for them.
Good.
Every time he be going in on them too.
I pay for him. Tell him he can make a little bread on the side. I pay for him. Make me a batch.
I'll let him know because
you never know.
They be serious. I be like, oh my God. He be like, "Mommy, you want some tenders?" He be like, I'm like, I just need to. He brought me two in here. Look, my whole plate. Look, I had he brought the Tabasco sauce in here and everything.
Oh, he came in ready.
When we had the commercial going and when the music was going, she could go ahead and eat her dinner.
I was like, they were smelling too good for me to
see. Yeah, I'm putting my order in. Putting my order in.
So you guys, okay. I'm trying to formulate this question so y'all can speak on it. So now here are the few dynamics, the triangle of dynamics I'm thinking about. The idea that a woman can clearly be in distress and nobody do something about it. She has to ask for help. Okay? Because I was in distress And I know people saw. They were right there. They were right up on me. And nobody helped. Maybe they were being distracted by the concert. But it's hard to be distracted by the concert when I'm in a tussle with a man. Like I'm actually tussling with him. So that's a problem, right? Nobody said anything. Okay, so that's one dynamic. That's one for you guys to think about. The second one is, I mean, the second and most obvious is the fact that he would do such a thing. Why would you do that? But the third is the part where I think most victims stay silent is because of the backlash involved. And more so, if I would have responded, like let's pretend Puddin' wasn't there and I really didn't know who to get to help me other than running away, if my immediate choice was to knock the shit out of him with something, and that would cause attention, which would problematically disturb the but the only thing you'd be thinking of is this woman, well, she could have just ran away, or she could have just screamed, or somebody could have helped her. But if that was the choice that was made, then the victim would then be vilified. So those 3 points. One, what the problem of somebody committing abuse. 2, the idea that people aren't villagers anymore to surround and help the person that's been attacked. And 3, in a sense, I know there's no definite. I know the sky is not blue. It can be many colors on that. And then 3, vilifying the victim, which I think is why people do not come forth. I think that'll give us a segue into like just wrapping up our thoughts on the show, and then hopefully saying 2 or 3 of things what we're grateful for, and then letting it be that. Let's see. Yeah, I have a 20 million vote taser. That was my other choice. Now, if I laid his ass on the ground, it would still be a disturbance, though. Yeah.
I think it's all about. I guess it's all about who's paying attention. To me, because quite frankly, if I was there, he'd have been hit. There'd have been a problem. So it's all about who's paying attention and noticing, because sometimes people will misconstrue distress with activity. And sometimes they don't pay enough attention to say, oh, she's in distress, whether she's just joking around with this fella. Because there are probably other people there who may have saw it and wouldn't think that he would be in this public setting doing that certain activity. You know what I'm saying? And so people don't pay enough attention. And I think when it is not outly known to people, they don't step in. Some people don't want to make trouble. They don't want to make waves for the situation. Some people don't want to be out of line, and they get over there, say I'm there, and I come over there and I smack this dude in his mouth, and then you be like, oh, we were just playing. So it's kind of like, oh dang, now I didn't cross some sort of line without even knowing. So I think
Jamie talked about, right, sis, that the 2 sides. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what that situation. But I liked when she spoke about, because a lot of times this is not spoke about as often as it could be, about how she was abusive to a man as well. And she spoke about that point of view, because we know so many point of views where men are abusive to women. We know that. And when a female steps in and says, hey, it happens to men, I was one of those, things like that. I appreciated her for that, on that note as well, because she kind of kept it on both sides of the ticket. And it happens to both genders. It happens, and it shouldn't. And the thing is it don't matter if it's a man or a woman. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself, and keep it, because there's not only just physical abuse, it's verbal abuse. And so don't just think because people are not putting their hands on you. Words hurt too. And words hurt a lot, because words have caused people to commit suicide and things like that. So I just think we just need to be better to each other in general.
I agree with what you're saying, Slappy. You spoke on what I was about to say. That it doesn't have to be a physical experience, because I know for a fact, that if I'm in a situation with a guy that I find myself not respecting him and not seeing him not as an equal, but more of a superior than because I have an expectation of a man to be able to lead me and a man to be strong and a man to be able to cover me, a man to be able to guide me and not just physically guide me and guide me through the streets, but guide me spiritually, right? So I have an expectation of a man to be above me, the head, okay? But I've always been dominant in every relationship that I've had, with the exception of one. And that lack of dominance was because I was young, I was inexperienced, and that was the primary abusive relationship. Well, actually two, because I was in two abusive relationships that I would choose to acknowledge or speak on, right? The other one, it was just, what it was. So, because I fought back in that third one, I was like, damn this shit. But the first one, I was a young teen when I was in a controlling and abusive relationship. The last one is the one with my son's dad that was an ongoing experience for years. Walk away, come back, walk away, come back, hide out, relocated, and then eventually went back until enough was enough, right? I have this thing about guys not bringing things to the table, not being authentic and not being transparent, but want me to bring everything. And then being in a relationship where I'm doing everything, I'm the dominant one in a relationship. So when I don't see you and you position yourself with me in a relationship to where you're not dominant and you're not being the man and you're not upholding yourself as the man. And I'm not saying you have to be abusive or anything like that. I'm saying don't cower out and don't be so quick to revert to, okay, you can have whatever you want because that's going to keep you happy. No, because sometimes myself and some other women, we need y'all to step up and be like, hey, this is what it is and this is what it looked like. And if I'm going to leave the house or if I'm going to leave the experience, but everybody, you living off of me, you want me to do everything for you. You want me to cook, you want me to clean, you want me to pick up behind you, you want me to know how to work on your car, tell you what's wrong with your car. You want me to, take care of the kid. You want me to do everything. What are you doing? And then you get offended because I'm doing everything. Don't get offended because you set yourself in, you put yourself in that position, right? And then when I'm not respecting you to the level and the degree that you want me to, it's not because I never tried and it's not because that wasn't what I desired. It's you put yourself in a position to be lesser than and for me to see you as lesser than. So now I have a lack of respect for you. Ain't no point of us being together. I need a man to know how to cut the grass. I shouldn't be out there cutting the grass and teaching you how to cut a goddamn lawnmower on. I shouldn't have to show you how to push the lawnmower the correct way and cut it off and hold the lever back so it can actually self-propel. I shouldn't have to tell you how to take the goddamn trash out. I shouldn't have to tell you to do these things or show you how to do these things. You better goddamn Google it and figure the shit out and don't let me know you don't know. But I need you to step up to the plate and do those manly things. And don't get pissed off at me because I'm doing so many damn things that are considered manly. But if you show yourself as that strong tower that I have a desire for you to be, until you get yourself in a position to be that, then you don't have to worry about being offended by the words that I say. You don't have to worry about feeling insecure because I'm secure. You don't have to worry about what I'm bringing into the house because you're going to bust your ass to bring more into the house or do whatever it is that you need to do. I want to empower you, and I'm not going to keep lifting you up and empowering you and encouraging you and speaking life into you if your ass can't get it back to me at the same time. And it's not saying that it has to be done all the time, but I'm saying, look, I shouldn't have to do everything. I'm tired of shit. And I'm not supposed to get no relationship with nobody who can't bring the shit to the table and who can't hold it down. So my singleness is a singleness of choice. My singleness is not a singleness because I can't find nobody and I can't get nobody, because I can go sleep with any goddamn person I want to if that's all it is. But that's not where I am. I'm interested in someone who can bring something to the table and see my value and see my worth, and I'm able to see your value and see your worth, and we can support and encourage each other. Now, I totally agree with what you're saying. When that concert was a banging concert and it was live and it was so much going on, and it depends on the attention of where everyone's mind is and what people are looking at in that particular moment. And Slappy, yes, you could have stepped up in a situation, because I see a whole bunch of women who roughhouse what they do. Is it appropriate? Not necessarily, because the lines get blurred when you see people doing certain things. You think that's how they are with everyone. You think that's how they are naturally. So you're not going to necessarily know that is it's a whole different context that's occurring in that particular moment. Now with Von's situation, she didn't know this dude. But her community, her people around her, her group of people that was with her, had they been paying attention and had they seen it from the onset and understood at one point or another, because the guy did approach her as a gentleman, so she was fine with that, right?
Yeah.
So it was nothing wrong in the beginning. But they were not aware that he whispered what he whispered to her in her ear. They were not aware that he began to get more aggressive and become a discreditable person to her, where she no longer wanted to engage with him. However, because of their experience of seeing Von playful and in other environments and know that she can hold her own, but they may not have realized that her situation turned to a distressful experience for her until she had to reach out and be like, no, you need to get between us, because I'm ready to take this nigga down. Excuse my words. Okay. Because that was her expression. Yet and still, they may not have recognized that, because their attention could have been on whoever was singing and performing at the time, because it was engaging. Your attention was on that stage, that's why you're there. So they could have had mixed signals. They could have missed that moment, which looked like they missed that moment, right? And then if a whole stranger come into the situation, Slappy, say you were the whole stranger that came into the situation, and you intervene, and this dude is like, "What the hell are you doing? Me and my girl, we we chilling or whatever, and we just do this. Dude, why you putting your hand on me or whatever?" And the girl turn around and jump off on you.
Yeah.
Because you to intervene in something when that is how they engage with one another. But you didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're a whole stranger looking out for the respect of a woman and looking at the aggression of a man towards a woman. So people have to be very mindful when we just automatically jump in a situation and feel like we're going to go cap a saving hole. When that can turn around and put your ass in a situation where you get locked up and you being on your back and you being in an assaultive situation and you going to court and you having to deal with the legal system because you intervened, got your ass involved in something they ain't had nothing to do with you. But you were trying to be the good Samaritan. So it's so many different ways to look at it, and so many different dynamics and so many different pieces of the puzzle. It's not always black and white. And yes, oftentimes women can turn around, and even men can say, well, I'm not going to speak up because it makes me look weak. I'm not going to speak up because nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to understand. We have to get out of the mindset of that. Because when someone speaks up, regardless of what their past is or was, when someone speaks up and says, this is what happened to me, this is how this made me feel, I am doing an outcry, I am expressing my experience to you, people need to have their words received as truth in that moment. Now, I must put a spin on it. Even though I say that, You also have to be considerate of the fact that there are so many individuals, men and women, that will take a situation and put their own personal intentions and motivations behind it to create a situation for someone because they want what they want, because they need what they need, because they want to control a person or a situation. They want the outcome to be the way they want that outcome to be. And that is why there's a lack of trust with the system, and there is a lack of understanding when it comes down to, you can't just always point blank period take a person's word as their bond. You have to investigate. Now, so that's why I say I put a spin on it. Take the person's truth as their truth in that moment. Do the appropriate investigation. Take the appropriate steps. Look at whatever you need to look at, that person's history, experiences, other relationships, or whatever, and determine what the truth is, and go from there. Look at the evidence, because the world is so screwed up. And because of people's actions and behaviors, we cannot always just trust what we hear and trust what we say. Even though I'm saying in the same statement, we have to take a person's truth in that moment as their truth. And that's all we can do. So I hope I was able to explain and address your concerns and your questions, Vaughn, all three of them, and also shed some light on how things kind of work within the criminal justice system, and how things work within the fact that we have to look at the whole dynamic of the experience and not just a black and white, because this is her position. This is her truth, right? And that dude have his own position. He have his own truth. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad. I'm saying he has his own truth. And people in the environment and in the space can already predetermine, Vaughn did not invite this guy into her environment, her space. She did not initiate the contact. But once the contact was initiated, she accepted the opportunity and accepted the responsibility of engaging with this guy without even knowing anything about him, with the exception of how he presented himself as a gentleman. And a lot of people present themselves as one thing, and truth be told, they later reveal themselves to be something completely different. We have to receive people as they are initially, because at that point we're prejudging people. And if we're prejudging people, then we'll never get to engage with anybody. We'll never get to know people for who they are. We'll never get to experience people. We'll never get to understand what could have been if we're so shut down to the opportunity and what's possible. But when we start to see those red flags, like she heard what she heard in her ear from this guy, at that point her decision was, nah, I'm sorry, can't do that, can't do this. I need you to remove yourself from my space now. And my no is my no. She said, my no is my no. It's not just pushing you away. My no is my no. And he failed to receive her no as her no. And because of the environment she was in, it was loud in there. It ain't no way people can hear the conversation that's going on. So they don't know that the experience went from one extreme to something completely different. So, it's not a cut and dry, a black and white thing. What her experience was and what she knows to be the truth, her truth and the facts, is a different experience from what he could say, right? And what the environment around them can say. Oh, she was all into it. She was all for it. And then all of a sudden we saw her crazy ass take up a chair and bust his ass across the head. We was like, what the hell going on? This bitch is crazy. Oh, excuse me.
Oh no, the fight's out. I'm about to turn your light out.
Lord, forgive me. But you know what I'm saying? Because the whole dynamic can spin real quick and change on her and be like, she was the aggressor. She was attacking him because
and it did happen fast.
She was, she flipped out. and not knowing anything about what happened in the beginning. That's why you have all these different assault cases. That's why you have all these different situations where these men get locked up and these women get locked up, and nobody knows exactly what occurred but those two people.
All I gotta say is that Nakia, first of all, that one little spot you was talking about, you was feeling that thing. That was personal. I felt that was personal. And second of all, we not gonna overlook that Nakia called Vaughn a B and a H all in the same phrase.
I wasn't calling her that.
First you said Captain Save-A-Hole. She first called her Captain Save-A-Hole, and then you say this bitch crazy.
And she don't like it very much, do she?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Listen, I just needed everybody to read my new book. Stop smacking the wrong cheeks. Some of y'all gonna get that on the way to the car.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I be thinking I'm ready. I know I'm ready. And then I ain't ready.
It's gonna be out in stores soon. Stop smacking the wrong cheeks.
He is committed. He is committed to this. He is sick of himself. Oh, girl. Well, thank you, Nakia, for that very lucid communication.
Slappy.
You know why he laughing, right? Why I said lucid, he rolling, because he like, she done got educated on me. So I must have really shown my arse. And the answer is, you don't, Tippy, you have shown your arse for this evening. Over there, tickle. Look at it.
She called her H and B all in the same.
I did
She
not.
got fluid, did she? That thing got fluid real quick when you pluck that good nerve, when you sit there with the lights ready to pluck her nerve. Boy, that thing will get you.
She was going in already, and then she said, I shouldn't have to show you how to start a damn lawnmower. I was like, dang. Somebody didn't cut their grass. God dang.
I mean, I need you to be,
girl, when you started talking about that lawnmower. That's how I feel like gas. I word to the wise to any brother who wants to holler. You can call me boo, you can call me
cut the lawn.
Call your mama. What you want to do is fill my car for gas. I don't want to put gas in my car.
I used to love to work in my yard all the time, and I would manicure my yard. I cut my own hedges. I cut my trees. I do all of it, right? I do the mulch. I do all of it. So, and I'm really particular, and I like my edging about a good 2 inches because I don't like the grass to grow on the sidewalk, all of that. And I like it neat, right? And I dated somebody, and that damn fool could not figure out how to cut the goddamn lawnmower on, and had no idea.
When you looking at him like this, wait, I am going to pull off the black woman's. This nigga ain't coming to start no lawnmower. Look, I'm about to pull it out. Now, remind you, this is all I done had sex with him, or I done thought about it, or I done cooked this Negro dinner, and you like, you can't start a lawnmower. That's how your head look inside, but your face is doing this.
Girl, my face was telling all of it. I was so damn mad. I was hot.
And then they look at you.
I had to show you, and then you get offended.
You probably need to get this chain fixed. You see that chain got the mechanism that hit behind this little rotor. Yeah, and the rotor, come to and hit the gas, and see that tube down there. Take the gas to the start, and
you ain't even have to do a whole bunch of work. It's a self-propelled lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know how to put gas in it. You don't know how to check the oil. Come on. I'm like, I need you to know. And then don't try to don't even begin. Don't let me get started on edging.
Listen.
Her face said edging.
Edging. Listen.
That look said, how you not gonna know how to edge, and you gotta cut your own hair?
Listen, all I gotta tell y'all out there is All I gotta tell y'all out there is hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can, hit that notification, and last but not least, start the damn lawnmower.
I cannot.
I should have closed the show. Shit. Oh no.
I cannot.
Nakia she didn't say what that being said, so it's.
No, if we don't have a that being said, then it has not been said.
It has not been said.
My bad.
But that was funny. But when you said it so good and that was my good blouse too. You know that teal or aqua color one I have that have the shoulder off and it's like it's got a nice drip on the side, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nigga, I just got this out of the cletus.
And you gonna put it in your mouth? COVID, nigga. COVID.
I know, Slappy, you said, did you have your hand sanitized when he said?
Yeah, cause you gonna kiss and put your lips on her hand?
It's on my shirt, but it is in the cleaners as we speak now.
You put your germ lips on her hand?
What?
Negro, in the COVID season?
And typically, I don't have a problem with biting, but in the sense that I don't know you, and you are at a...
I said, Vaughn.
Because she slid that in so smoothly. Typically, I don't have a problem with biting, but this...
She just putting y'all on notice. Look, I said, Vaughn, what is it about you that people feel like they can just put their mouth on you and change? You have all types of experiences and stuff. And look, when you played the Bahamas video, every time you said you play the Bahamas video, I think about us, right? And I say, so you have the two girls in the yellow dresses dancing. I say, Vaughn is the one with her shoulders and her back out. I'm the one fully clothed. Vaughn ass is always showing some skin. That's why the man is after that ass.
With that question mark. With that being said, Vaughn like to be bit and start the damn lawnmower.
No, that is not it. I was minding my business. I didn't even look to the right.
She loves to expose her body parts, and I am always over.
I know you're not talking mid-drift, Daisy Duke. I will show the picture.
No, please send that to me personally.
That's when we were younger. Were younger.
So how about you send those to me? Is what I'm saying.
Wait, Slappy got real serious.
I will do that.
Did you see the face change?
Wait, he got real calm and real serious.
Did you see the face change? I was like, oh, send those.
I'm gonna do that for you, my brother.
Thank you, my sister, and I will make sure if you would listen, every man out there, y'all come bite Vaughn. Come bite her. And start the damn lawnmower.
That being said, thank y'all for joining us on the Real and Raw Talk Show. You can't even do that. I saw that on the
I want to give them to y'all. Y'all know I want to give it to them, but I ain't gonna do it.
Love you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Real and Raw Talk Show with Nakia Franklin and Vaughn Greta. Remember to like and follow us on all social media platforms. A special thanks to our guests, sponsors, and audience members. We are grateful for your support of our programming. If you would like to become a guest or sponsor one of our shows, please email us at info.realrawtalkshow@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. This has been a Vaughn Greta Studios production where we are creating without limits in association with Social Integration, specializing in socially integrated programs and services. The views and opinions expressed on the show do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Real and Raw Talk Show with Nakia Franklin and Vaughn Greta. Any content provided are opinions and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. stay connected, and join us for our next conversation on first and third Monday of every month, where there are no boundaries and no judgments.